are you guys able to see this?
Yeah, looks good, Toby.
So yeah, again, thank you, thank you very much, Shivani. Thank you very much for everyone who's on this call. We really appreciate you. And today I'm going to talk about one of our programs, a research program. And I'm going to start by saying, like, one of why is research important for us? Research is important for our work because it helps us in making informed decisions on management. And under our research program, we have six key components. And the first one is lion collaring, which actually we do lion collaring to help us in keeping the lion safe. The second component is lion monitoring, which actually help us in knowing our lions. The third component is about conflict, and with conflict, we record data to help us understand the patterns on when and where conflicts happen. We also do attitudinal surveys to understand the perception and understanding of the community on conservation in general, and also like about lions. We also do, under our research, the other component is assessing habitat, which help us in knowing which particular areas are actually good for lions and what are those things, or I mean, those particular aspects that making those particular areas good or bad for the lions. And lastly, we also do wildlife monitoring, which actually trying to know and understand lion food, like the herbivores, other wildlife, which are basically lion food, the herbivores. Okay, but today I'm only going to focus on the top three, which is lion collaring, lion monitoring, and conflict. And so to start off with collaring, lion collaring basically means putting GPS-enabled collars, those collars like the dog collars, but these has got like GPS tags in them. Putting GPS-enabled collars on lions. And why do we do this? We do this to help us in keeping the lion safe, you know. And by having these GPS-enabled collars on lions, we are actually able to know where the lions are almost in real time. And if we know where the lions are almost in real time, when they venture out into unsafe areas, we are able to alert our warriors, our team of warriors, and also the community rangers from the conservancies in which we work in alerting the community on the presence of lions in particular area. By so doing, we are able to prevent conflict before it happens. We are able to prevent lions from killing livestock before it happens, because if it happens, that's when that's when problems start with, because if it happens, then most of the time the others or the livestock owners will actually go after the lions. And so by having these collars on these lions, we are able to save lions by preventing conflict before it happens. This photo here is during when we were collaring Sarara, this lioness called Sarara, in Matthew's Range up north of our within the landscape in which we work on. And amazingly or surprisingly enough, this area, within this particular area, the Namunyak region, lions had disappeared for over 30 years. They had not seen lions within this landscape for over 30 years. But recently, lions started coming back. And so they contacted us, and so we've been working together with them. And we managed to collar this lioness, and we are able to actually track this pride of lions, and we are able to, and so we are able to actually save these particular lions using these using the collars. This map you're seeing here is the landscape, lion movement from the collared lions we've had since 2016, and it shows how the lions actually crisscross across this amazing landscape. And remember, this landscape is, in this landscape, people, livestock, wildlife, lions, and all the other herbivores actually live together in one particular area. And so by having like these collars, we are actually able, the other thing, we're like actually able to see how the lions move within this particular landscape, together with the community. Again, one of the other things that also these collars help us with is identifying key corridors for lion movement. And in this particular map, this is a movement of one of the famous lions that we really loved. We're like, we've monitored for like a very long time. Unfortunately, we lost this year. And yeah, and so from his GPS collar, we are able to actually map out his movement across the landscape. And if you look at the map, you can see the darker purple areas. Those are the key areas in which it uses as his home. Those are the safe areas. Those are the safe areas for her. And you can see the light purple connecting the two darker areas. That is the corridor. That is the route she usually took between the two areas, between the two safe areas he has been like traversing. And so these collars, apart from saving the lands, help us in identifying these key corridors, and we are able to work together with all the partners, with all the communities, to safeguard and to secure these particular corridors for these lions. And so going forward, we will actually need more collars, especially given that there is new infrastructure, that like new road and railways coming into this landscape. And with that, we're definitely going to need more collars so that actually we can actually identify corridors, lion movement corridors, and also figure out how they actually, interact with the new infrastructure coming in. You've seen how we use collars to save lions, but apart from that, we also do lion monitoring. And by lion monitoring, basically, we follow these lions on a daily basis, all the lions within the landscape on a daily basis, to know where they are and to know what they're doing and to know where they're like heading to. And just to tell you, this is like the most favorite part of our work, just being out there and having the lions, seeing them like lazy around or seeing them doing what they do, that's like the best part of our work. And every single person in our team, I'm sure this is like the part that they tell you that this is the part they enjoy most, including Shivani and everyone else. Rason, I know like most of the time, I never actually get to do this part, but I know this is one of the things, this is part of our job that is like most enjoyable. And so how we identify these lions by actually drawing out the whisker spots, which are like unique to every single individual lions. And also apart from that, we also draw out any cuts on their ears or any other unique feature on their body. And this actually help us in identifying like these lions to monitor individually. All right. And so far, since 2002, we've actually monitored about 190 plus individual lions. And the family trees are known to us, who's the mother of whose cub is it, which year they were born. And we know all this through lion monitoring. And now, here are some of this graph here shows the population trend, the population for all the lions we've been monitoring since 2002. And you can see the trend, the population numbers is like stable, fairly stable, and on an upward trend. Okay. The other thing that we also do is cub survival, like basically record like which cubs were born. And between 2018 and 2020, we've recorded about 27 new cubs born. And this year alone, 2021, so far, we've recorded 8 new cubs born. Highest cub survival rate of 89%. And that means like in every 100 cubs born, 89 of them will actually survive to the second year. That just shows how amazing like these lions within this landscape, how good mothers they are, despite them being solitary, but like still they're like very, very good moms. Right? Despite everything we do to actually prevent lions from killing livestock, sometimes, unfortunately, it still happens sometimes. And when it does, our team has to respond very quickly, because if we don't do so, we end up losing the lions. Our team has to respond very quickly and try to mitigate the conflict, because fairly enough, when lions attack livestock or kill like your livestock, people get angry and they end up going after the lion and trying to kill it. And so our team has to respond very quickly and try to prevent that. And also during such, we also record data on this. We record data to understand the patterns when and where such conflict incidences happen. And recently, apart from just recording, collecting this data, we also started working with KWS and helping the community submit, fill and submit their compensation claims to KWS. KWS, the Kenya Wildlife Service, which is a government body mandated to take care of all the wildlife within Kenya. And so recently, we've been having our team help the community, apart from just responding and trying to mitigate the conflict, we also help the community in filling out their forms and submitting to KWS for compensation. And now, these are some of the results we got from our conflict data. You can see from the graph, majority or most of the livestock that are attacked by lions are actually lost livestock. When livestock are like wandering around in the bush without others, and when they come across the lions, that is when most of the lion-human conflict are actually happen. And this graph here shows the patterns when conflict happened between 2017 and 2020. 20 or 10 years ago, the conflict pattern was very clear. Most of the conflicts were actually recording during during the wet season. But in the recent years, this has changed. Everything is changing within this landscape, and everything is becoming harder and harder for the lions. You heard Generia talk about how things are becoming tough, especially with the drought for the lions. And so in this graph, you can see January, which is like a wet season, we still record very high conflict numbers. May again, which is also like short range, but also like a wet season, we still record high conflict numbers. But in September, which is supposed to be like dry season, we still record like very high numbers of conflict. And so what this means, like conflict nowadays seems to be happening throughout the year. And why is this so? This is because livestock and people and wildlife are all coming together, are all coming like this particular spot in one particular place. And that actually makes the number of conflicts we record to actually skyrocket. And this is as a result of land degradation. This as a result because there is no food for livestock, there is no food for herbivores, and eventually there's no food for the lions. And so with this, that's the reason why we record like so much conflict. And this comes down to poor land and livestock management. But despite all this, we are still very, very hopeful. We still know that things are going to be great. And Mama Simba, our Mama Simba program, together with Grave Zebra Trust, who are the experts in land restoration, have been working together to do land restoration within Westgate Conservancy. And you can see we've actually recorded like amazing results. And this, when I look at this, when you see at this, these are like what keeps us going. These are things that gives us hope. These are the things that give us the courage to continue doing what we do, because we know at the end of the day something is going to be better. 2 days ago, we just came back from southern Kenya, from Masai area, where we took a team or community members to go and see how proper land management, how proper range land management can actually lead to better livestock despite the drought. We took this team to see how the pastoralists down south manage their land to an extent. Even during the drought, they still have food for their livestock. And that translates to food for the herbivores, and also that translates to food for the lions. And so we are very, very hopeful. We are very, very hopeful that the community members we took at least learned something, and they're like all very optimistic to come and try new land management practices within Samburu, and that gives us hope. That gives us like a hope, and we know that soon things are going to be great. That's a very short snapshot of our research program, and but we still need your support. We still need your help, especially in come 2020. We need like 2 GPS scholars all our 8 vehicles need to go out like on a daily basis, and the fuel prices in Kenya are actually skyrocketing. So we definitely need your help in that. Also, we started working with the community, helping the community fill out and submit their compensation forms to the KWS. And with that, we need to do it very quick. And with that, we need to get like a motorbike to help our team in actually doing this on a very timely and a very fast basis. If you need any more questions, or if you want to know more about our research program, please don't hesitate to contact me at tobyoasolions.org, or please feel free to contact any of our team members. I think I'm going to stop there, but if any of you have got any questions, I would really love to answer any of the questions you have.